Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, viewers. We have come today with another thrilling episode, wonderful topic that will be beneficial to the ears of everybody that will be able to hear me this morning. With you on stage this morning is Reverend Mrs. Meldis Bidwell Ekpelibe. We have come again in today's realities of life. Realities of life is where we bring so many things that are fighting our homes, our marriages. Realities of life is where you come to learn life experiences, know things that you didn't know before. You will come to the knowledge of some things that you've been misinformed earlier than now. Here in Realities of Life, we make everything open. We teach you. We tell you how things are being done, the right way to do things. Today's topic is, who are you yielding your body to? Who are you giving your body to? Because every sexual intercourse produces something. It either produces negatively or it produces positively. It can produce physically, it can produce spiritually. It is now left for you to know. I will appreciate it if you can open up your spirit, open up your heart, open up your mind. Feel free to make your comments. Let your comments appear here. Feel free to ask some questions. I'm ready to answer your questions this morning. Okay. We will start by thinking of what is sex. Remember, God created man and woman. They are two. And it is God's mind, the mind of God, that a male and a female should come together in union ordained by God to become man and wife. And when this union takes place, they will no longer be two people. They will become one soul. Okay. So let us look at sex. Let us look at the meaning of sex to know what it means. Sex is the union between a male and a female counterpart. It is a process by which sperm from the male reproductive organ, the penis, is deposited into a woman's vagina. It is a sexual contact between individuals which involves penetration. Remember, I said it is supposed to be between two people. But for the Christians, the Bible made us understand something. In Mark chapter 10, verse 8, it says, and two will become one flesh. So they are no longer two, but one flesh. That is what the matrimony tells us. In matrimony, that means their union has been ordained by God. That is, sex to them is no longer a sin. It is what God has given to them for their pleasure and for procreation. Okay? Then, sex, if you look at it very well, you come to the knowledge that sex is truly a union between two parties who are connected through penetration to become one. That same Bible made us understand that we have mind, we have body, we have spirit. Meaning that we are spiritual. Okay? Oxford Dictionary defines a spirit. Let us ask ourselves, what is spirit? Oxford Dictionary defines spirit as a non-physical part of a person, which is the seat of emotions and character, the soul. Okay? All right. Some do view sex as a time of pleasure and take advantage of it. Some believe that after having that pleasure with anybody that is not their husband, that is not their wife, once they are not affected, that they are free from the relationship. There are some they call hit and run. Some will just go and a man will just want a girl just to have carnal knowledge of the girl and then run away. He might think that he is free. He has finished with the girl. The relationship is over. No. In some cases, they might notice that their personality and physical bodies have all sorts of changes. They can't even say what it is. They will not understand. Some ladies on the other side might just want a man. Maybe she's married. She's in her home with her husband, but she wants to have carnal knowledge of this man. She will go and have sex with the man, thinking that it is over. She has satisfied her flesh. It is over. She goes home. No, it cannot be over. It is not over. Just listen to me and listen attentively. You will understand where I'm going to. Sexual intercourse, it is a bond between two souls. Remember, two people are involved. So each one of them have a soul. So the souls are now two. It is a bond between two souls and multiple spirits together. In the world of today, possession is on the high side. So many people are possessed without knowing it. Some call it mental health. Some call it whatever they wish to. But possession is possession by different spirits. Okay, so when two people come into contact, it is no longer a bond between just two souls. It is a bond between two souls with multiple spirits, depending on the spirits that each of them carry. You can call it a spiritual intercourse, or you call it a spiritual exchange. When you engage in sexual intercourse, you make a huge commitment, which also carries the weight in the supernatural realm. It doesn't stop on this realm, earthly realm that you're seeing, this physical realm that you're seeing. It goes into the spiritual realm. Whoever you sleep with or have sex with, the person will have a very strong hold on your spirit. Do you know why? Because when that intercourse was going on, some things were being deposited into each other. The ones that the man has in him, both spiritually and otherwise, physically, are being deposited into the girl. And the one the girl has is being deposited into the man. Don't forget that your spirit is the bedrock of your destiny. Your spirit is the bedrock of your destiny. Okay? When this goes on, the energies, bodily adjustments, and changes you do to enhance feeling. When all these are going on, fluids are gathering in the urethral bulb as it prepares to be injected into the source, the woman. Fluids are gathered in the urethral bulb as the man is preparing to inject it into the source, which is the woman. When this is finished, this is by no means a non-strings attached act. Because if it's somebody that is not your wife or that is not your husband, you feel that no strings attached. You just had sex with the person and you go, you're happy. No, in fact, it is a many strings attached act. Many strings are attached in the act. You might think it is just feelings, to make you make your feelings, you grab it, you think that you're trying to be happy. I'm here to amaze you. Your happiness doesn't count anymore because you have gone into many strings. You have taken part in many strings attached acts. There are so many things that have been deposited. There is depositing of energy from one to the other through the connection of your genitals. At this juncture, both of you become one. Spiritually, whether you like it or not. Both of you become one. Sicknesses, diseases are just the visible transfers you can notice after a period of time. Those are the ones that can be physically seen. However, attitudes, spirits, and emotions are all vibrational energies that were transferred from one person to the other during the act. These ones you cannot see. You can't see them. These negative transfers, they might show up in form of pains and mental conditions. You might, at times, you find yourself behaving the way you are not used to. Let me use the term abnormally. Your behavior will become abnormal to you because this is not the you that you know. But for the fact that what happened was mostly spiritual, you will not understand what went on, what took place. And when this happens, sexual ties is being initiated. So, after sex, you're not completely free from the person. No, you're not. The act leaves a terrible mark on you. If you are not married, it will be negative impacts. It will leave negative impacts in you. So, whenever you want to take part in this kind of act, always remember, take a minute to have a rethink on what I've said so far. Though I am still going forward. If you have a time, few minutes to have a rethink of these consequences, oh my God, I don't think you can continue. I don't think you can continue. If an average youth will understand the spiritual contract they get into with sexual intercourse, they won't be too quick to have a date. They will think twice. I pity those ones, especially the ones that go after married men, old men, because they'll give you money. Their lives are really spent. But they will carry those old spirits and hand it over to you. You'll see a pretty girl. After some time, she'll start looking older than her age. If care is not taken, she'll start looking like a grandmother. Of course, she doesn't know what is happening to her. Sadly, the devil in the world today has presented sex so loosely to the world as an indoor game. What a cruelty. How sad it is. How sad it is. How sad it is. The devil has let loose because he knows if he comes to you and shows up himself as a devil, you'll run away. You won't like to have the sight a second time. So he let loose sex in the world. He let loose sex. From there, he will maim so many. He will kill so many. If you don't get a sexually transmitted disease, you can get mentally ill. You can get mentally ill. It shouldn't be so. It should not be so. I said something about sex ties, soul ties. It is in sexual intercourse that it is being gotten. It is in sexual intercourse. And when you become soul tied, your soul gets tied to somebody you've had the intercourse with. Oh my God. It is only spiritually that you can come out of it. I said that when sexual intercourse takes place, soul ties are activated. Knowingly and unknowingly. You won't even work for it. You won't fight for it. It happens. It happens. This is because when sexual intercourse takes place, energy gets exchanged. Sexual energy. It gets exchanged. Not just on the physical level, but also on the emotional and mental and spiritual levels. This takes place in sexual intercourse with either with your current partner or your boyfriend or your girlfriend or even someone you're having casual sex with. The question is, was that act a sexual act? Did sexual intercourse take place? If it takes place, these three things are being affected. Your mental, your emotional, and your spiritual levels. three of them are affected. You might catch or get internalized your sexual partner's trauma, insecurities, fears, without even realizing it. This is called limbic bonding. Limbic bonding. In sexual intercourse, so many things are being transferred. If your partner has some trauma or some sense of insecurity or some sense of insecurities or fears, all these things will be handed over to you that is receiving it. If the lady has it, as you're transferring your spermatozoa into her, she is transferring back these things to you. You can't be free. You might ask, how do you know that you've gotten sexual ties with somebody? One, you'll be obsessed of that person you had the sexual intercourse with. You have obsessive thoughts or strong feelings about a person, about the other person. That is why you see a girl, she'll be wanting a man, maybe that has sexual intercourse with her just once. But for the fact the man was stronger, so many things were transmitted from the man. The things that were transferred from the man to the woman will be more than the girl. The girl will just become obsessed. She'll be wanting the person, calling the person, even if the person said, I don't want again. I don't want any relationship with you. I wanted you to have sex and I had it and I'm satisfied. I don't want to continue. You see this girl begging the person. She might hate the man. If he's in the man might hate the woman. But he sees himself still going back. What is happening to him is spiritual. It's not physical, it's spiritual. He's being obsessed, or she is being obsessed of that sexual partner. In such cases, the person might have constant headaches, might have stomach aches, sleepless nights, loss of appetite. It's like an invisible thread that is walking in the person. A metaphoric cord ties these two people. Whoever you have sexual intercourse with, there's a metaphoric cord kind of that ties both of you together. It's like an invisible cord. You won't see it, but you see yourself still attracted to the person. You still want the person. If you might hate the person, you might, after the thing, you hate the person. There are times people will indulge in sexual intercourse, but after the thing, one person will hate the other party. You're not hating him because he did something wrong to you, but for the fact of the things that has been transferred to you, it will start working in you. Those spirits that were not in you before you met the person will start working in you negatively, make you so uncomfortable. And if he is stronger, he transferred the more things to you, you will be obsessed by him. You will still want him. Even if he's a girl, for instance, is obsessed by a man that she just met, they had what they call a quickie, and she goes home, her mind will still be there because she has been obsessed by the man. Any man that comes her way to marry her, even if she goes in just to answer I'm married, she will not have a good home. That husband of hers can never satisfy her because that bond between herself and the other person has not been broken. This makes people not to have sexual satisfaction with their present partners, husbands or wives, because their hearts still belong to the other person, someone somewhere that they met before getting married. This unhealthy obsession will be traced back to exposure to unhealthy relationships or unresolved issues with significant people in her life in the past or in his life in the past that has not been, broken. Secondly, to know how soul ties operate, they are taken into negative traits. Okay, let me explain to you. During this sexual intercourse, there's a hormone that is released. It is called oxytocin. Oxytocin, or you call it oxytocin. That's a hormone that is being released during sex that causes this bonding. It causes one to embrace some of the negative traits of your sexual partner. This oxytocin, that is its work. Every negative trait one person has, it hands over to the other. And the one this person that just collected from the man has, he hands it over to the woman. So you can see it's not something both of you will agree on. We won't hand over anything. No, the oxytocin is there. It's a hormone you release as sexual intercourse is going on. It is this hormone that causes this bonding between both partners. The man might be on it and remember maybe he has a wife. He will stop, but stopping, he can no longer help himself. The penetration has taken place and the hormone has been released. So that woman now, you take a part of her. If it's a married woman, you go back to your wife and hand it over to your wife. Can't you see you're destroying your family with your own hands? And if you're a woman, you have a husband at home. I don't know what happened. Maybe you need some money. You saw somebody that will give you money and you decide to go and have sexual intercourse with the man. By the time this oxytocin hormone is being released, you are taking so many things from the man into yourself, both spiritually and otherwise. Then you go back to your husband and hand it over to your husband. And from that day, your family will never remain the same. That love you think you shared with your husband can never remain the same because you have brought in more spirits. The spirits will keep fighting the man, okay? Where will you put your mind now? You have carried something from this man. And if that man is stronger than you, spiritually and otherwise, you'll carry everything from him more. More. And bring it home. This is why so many marriages break. You see couples, you say, I thought they loved each other. Their marriage is old, 20 years. It was 20 years because they decided to stay with each other. Or one person decided to keep herself, or one might decide to keep himself or herself for the benefit of the family to move on. But the moment one moves out and gets a stronger spirit, oh my God, the marriage is off. It's gone and forgotten. When there are soul ties, it becomes a karmic relationship. We use the word soul tie, sex tie, to describe this, meaning that you are no more free. You are not free anymore, as it has become karmic. You can no longer be complete without that person that you inherited that from. Even if you don't want to see him or her anymore, but that karmic nature in you will keep drawing you back to him. If there is a woman or a guy, a boy, a man that has not gotten married, trouble forms. They will have trouble forming healthy relationship. A man, if it's a man might come, she's saying, I'm not interested in marriage. I don't want to get married now. Of course, you're not going to beat her. She's got her life to live. But before she understands what's happening, she must have gone far. After that sexual intercourse that she grabbed those spirits, those things, she'll be unable to love anybody or go into a relationship. She won't know what's happening to her. Experimenting sex with multiple people is not a good one. Because if you get involved in soul ties, breaking it takes a lot of things to break it. Don't give in. Don't allow it happen. reduce the amount of clutter or emotional, spiritual, and mental debris you have accumulated along the way. It's not healthy for you. Neither is it healthy for people around you. You can stop it. You can reduce it by refusing to give yourself to somebody that is not your husband. If it's your husband or your wife, for the fact the marriage has been ordained of God, everything that comes in there will be positive. But for the fact it's not of God, it's a sin, so the devil comes in. Remember, the Bible said that he that opens the edge, the serpent will bite. Yes. For these soul ties to be broken, spiritual work is required. It's only God that can deliver you when you've made up your mind not to go back, not to do it. Stick to your husband, stick to your wife. If you know you want a woman, go and get married. If you know you want a man, please accept a man that comes your way and get married. Allow God to institute that marriage. When you indulge in this kind of sex, your mind, your will, and your emotions becomes enmeshed with that of the other person. You won't be yourself anymore. You will notice in you that something came in. It will become toxic if the person you're connected to isn't a positive influence. And in this case, the person's mental and physical health can be negatively affected. It can be negatively affected. So, I'm admonishing you today, before you go into having anything to do with anybody, please think, is this person you are about to have sex with, or that is disturbing you, and you want to connect with, and to become one with? Is it worth it? If you then decide to go in, ask yourself, when the spirits are being transferred, can you handle it? Is this something that you think you can survive? How much are you willing to risk your life? For the people who may have gotten the chance to think before they leap, maybe now, having heard my voice, you know why you are unexplainably sick or haunted by your thoughts. If you've not known earlier, before this program, now you will know why. If you don't want all these spirits coming to take abode in you, coming to make a home in your precious body, consider abstinence, celibacy, and wait till marriage, just like Christians preach, just like the Word of God says. It won't be right. If you gain this whole world and lose your soul, it's not going to be a good one. The life you have built with your hands, you destroy it just because of highest 30 minutes sin the world calls enjoyment. Please, men, women out there, especially those at the sound of my voice, who are you yielding your body to? Who are you giving your bodies to? I want you to know, and like I've explained, every sex produces something, either physically or spiritually. Don't allow your body become the home of debris, negative debris. Remember, your body is the temple of the Most High God, the dwelling place of the Holy Spirit. Don't take the Holy Spirit where it's not supposed to go to. God bless you. We have come to the end of today's episode of Realities of Life. Please, I would like you to listen to this tape once again and know that all that glitters is not gold. God bless you. See you same time next week for another thrilling episode of Realities of Life. God bless you. Remember, This is Reverend Mrs. Meldis Bidwell Ekpelibe online today.